Italy's land forces have long followed an approach distinct from most of their NATO peers, one that emphasizes mobility, flexibility, and cost efficiency over sheer armored mass. The backbone of that doctrine is a dual firepower model built around two complementary systems, the tracked PzH 2000 self-propelled howitzer and the wheeled Centauro II gun vehicle. Together, they reflect Italy's effort to balance modern firepower with the logistical and geographical realities of the peninsula and its overseas missions. The PzH 2000 remains the core of Italy's long-range artillery. Acquired under license from Germany in the early 2000s, about 70 vehicles were built domestically by the CIO consortium, Iveco and Auto Melara. With its 155mm L52 gun, automatic loading system, and a burst rate of 3 rounds in 9 seconds, it can deliver highly accurate fire out to 40 kilometers with assisted projectiles. The system was designed for NATO's counter-battery dual environment and remains one of the most advanced self-propelled howitzers in Europe. Italy's batteries operate under the 132nd Field Artillery Regiment, Ariete, and the type regularly participates in multinational exercises such as Dynamic Front in Germany, where Italian crews train alongside U.S. and German counterparts in coordinated fire missions. Yet Italy's inventory is shrinking. 6 PzH 2000s were transferred to Ukraine between 2022 and 2023 as part of military aid packages, a politically significant move that demonstrated Rome's commitment to NATO solidarity but temporarily reduced its own heavy artillery strength. The remaining guns are being maintained carefully but face the same issues as other European PzH 2000 fleets: limited spare parts, high maintenance demands, and vulnerability to modern counter-battery threats. Like other NATO operators, Italy is exploring integration of drones and counter-UAV systems to protect its artillery assets and improve targeting efficiency. If the PzH 2000 represents Italy's heavy punch, the Centauro II symbolizes agility. Developed by the same CIO consortium, the Centauro II is the successor to the original 1990s Centauro wheeled tank destroyer. It mounts a 120mm smoothbore gun comparable to those on modern main battle tanks, but on an 8x8 chassis with modular armor, an advanced fire control suite, and a 720 horsepower engine. It can reach 100 kilometers per hour on-road, be deployed rapidly by C-17 or A-400M transport aircraft, and provide direct fire support in expeditionary settings. In 2024, the Italian Ministry of Defense signed a contract for 28 additional vehicles, completing the planned production run of around 150 units for the Army. Several European and Latin American countries, including Spain and Brazil, have shown interest in the design, seeing it as a cost-effective alternative to heavier tanks. The Centauro II's strength lies in its role as a rapid reaction cavalry vehicle. In units such as the 15th Cavaliere di Lodi Regiment, it serves as the spearhead for reconnaissance, urban operations, and peacekeeping missions where heavy tracked armor would be too slow or destructive. Its digital architecture allows full integration into Italy's command and control network, and its firepower gives Italian brigades a credible anti-armor capability without the logistical burden of deploying main battle tanks. However, its protection remains limited compared to a Leopard 2 or Abrams. It relies on mobility and situational awareness rather than armor thickness to survive. Italy's doctrine deliberately combines these two systems to achieve layered, flexible firepower. In a typical operational concept, PzH 2000 batteries deliver long-range suppression, while Centauro II squadrons exploit mobility to engage enemy positions directly or screen advancing forces. The pairing is meant to cover both indirect and direct fire missions across diverse environments, from the Balkans and Libya to the Sahel, where Italy frequently deploys under NATO or EU flags. The approach also reflects industrial pragmatism. The PzH 2000 was acquired under license, while the Centauro II is an indigenous product that keeps national factories active and export-ready. Compared to other European doctrines, Italy stands apart. Germany, Poland, and the UK continue to build around heavy tracked formations centered on Leopard 2, Challenger, and tracked artillery systems. France and Italy, by contrast, emphasize expeditionary mobility and wheeled armor. Italy's Mediterranean model bets on speed, lower maintenance, and the ability to deploy by sea or air to distant theaters faster than heavy brigades could. The trade-off is reduced survivability in a peer-to-peer land war, but that risk is judged acceptable given Italy's strategic environment and alliance commitments. As of 2025, the operational situation is mixed. Italy still fields roughly 63 serviceable PzH 2000s, most undergoing periodic upgrades and maintenance cycles. Their performance remains excellent, but sustainment costs are high. The Centauro II, meanwhile, is entering full production and gradually replacing older Centauro I vehicles across the reconnaissance regiments. The challenge now is to unify logistics, training, and digital systems between these two very different platforms. Italy's defense planners are also studying how to integrate both assets with newer enablers such as UAV reconnaissance, M270 rocket launchers, and the CAM-ER air defense network to create a connected fire web covering 0 to 40 kilometers. Strategically, this dual-track modernization is both a necessity and a statement. It allows Italy to maintain credible artillery and armor capabilities within limited budgets, while signaling to NATO that it can contribute flexible, mobile firepower to coalition operations. But the limitations are clear. Without a modern main battle tank or a replacement for the aging Ariete, Italy risks lacking the heavy shield needed for sustained high-intensity warfare. Future cooperation with Germany's KF-51 Panther or the Franco-German MGCS program may eventually fill that gap. For now, the PzH 2000 and Centauro II remain the twin pillars of Italy's land firepower. They embody a philosophy shaped by geography and economics rather than brute force, a belief that precision, mobility, and interoperability can substitute for sheer tonnage. Whether that belief holds true on tomorrow's battlefields will depend on how effectively Italy connects these systems into the broader NATO network. In a Europe obsessed with heavy tanks, Rome continues to chart its own course, lighter, faster, and uniquely Mediterranean.